Well, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the first Building Depth call of June 2026. I cannot believe that we are halfway through 2026 already. What a ride it's been already. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Daniel Mollering, coming to you right outside of Boston, Massachusetts. Been with LifeVantage for 17 years. Kind of crazy when I stop and think about that. But what a journey it's been. It's been one of the most important things that I've ever done because of what I've seen it do for other people. Prior to being involved in this, I was in the trades, using my hands and being in construction was my thing and had niche markets in cedar shake and slate roofing and HVACR and, ran companies. A couple of them are still running, successful businesses uh, in the trades. It wasn't until I had suffered a couple of falls myself and watched my dad suffer a really bad one that I realized that I needed another plan, another way to make an income because if the worst were to happen, would my family be okay? And that's kind of why I decided to look at LifeVantage. Now, the concept and everything of what we have with LifeVantage tangible from our products and our compensation plan is absolutely amazing, but I had never had experience in the industry of network marketing. So I'm so grateful for the leadership of this company and our presidentials of Marcel Niederhauser and Blue Elam leading the charge with this group of executives that you're going to hear from tonight, the principles and behaviors that they have instilled in their own organizations, in their own daily method of operation, and their own and the company at large, many times over have had success, and this is why. They're presidentials in the company. This is why 75% of the entire volume of the company of LifeVantage is under that umbrella of their organization. So hats off, to our presidentials for still being here, even though they don't have to create this path and for us to run on this system for success. So welcome to Building Depth. Again, tonight we're going to be hearing from some amazing executive consultants going over the principles and behaviors, and they're going to go into those in depth. Um, I mean, not too in depth, about as in depth as you can get involved into these topics on an hour give or take call. If you really want the in depth, I would recommend you get your you know what over to St. George, Utah next week so that you can get a deep dive. I'm talking 2 days, 14 full hours of straight up training on how to get from A to Z or A to B in this company, not on theory, but based on experience, using the principles and behaviors that you will hear about this evening, right? But more involved, more in depth, and using that person's personality. What you're going to find, and whether this is your first call, your 10th call, your 100th call, your 1,000th call, your 10,000th call, you may hear some of the same things over and over, but always pay attention and always stay locked in because this training is available for you so that you can go from amateur to professional. There's going to be that one nugget, that one moment that a certain person says something that just the light bulb goes off and it's that aha moment, right? So I encourage you to stay consistent with these calls and I encourage you to promote these calls, even out here on the East Coast. I understand, it's 10 o'clock at night, right? We're starting this call, but I also know that meetings are done and most kids are in bed by now. So it is a good opportunity to lock in on these calls. But I'm telling you, this is hands down the most important program that I have ever used. Whether you're 8 or 80, this is a simplistic system that anybody can adapt and mold and work into the nooks and crannies of their already busy life. In fact, this program is the reason that after 17 years, I'm still here flourishing, proud, and excited for the future. It's because of this program right here that helps people that were like me, never had experience in their entire life, and then puts them into a program to allow them to understand, adapt, and implement things in the nooks and crannies of their life until they realize, wow, I can do those things and I do understand this. So having the executives on this call that have locked arms, that held hands together for the last decade plus of having this program be like an official thing or whatever, um, has been nothing short of extraordinary for me. And I am just so honored to be on this call. So that's a little bit about me. I'm going to pass it off to our first speaker. I hope that sets the tone for the call for you guys. But our first speaker is going to go over the system. And executives, I'm going to have you pass it to the next person that's in line. But we're going to start off tonight with somebody that I remember meeting and thinking, wow, what a dynamic guy. Don't know what he's doing here, though. He definitely doesn't need this, right? He had already had a whole bunch of success with other companies and didn't really need it, but I could see the drive in him. I met his beautiful wife Summer, and I was like, holy crap, two peas in a pod right here. Like, how does that happen? How does somebody meet their exact mirror when it comes to the energy level? I was like, this is intense. So it was like I constantly felt like inspired by them, but also kind of intimidated because like I'm getting it from both angles. What's the secret sauce? What's the secret sauce? Anyways, I digress. Years later, I watched them go from around the SC2, SC3 rank to multiple executive positions. And it's because of this program. I watched them go from the audience in the seat to commanding rooms. Okay, so I'm just gonna, I don't, I'll save it. I could go on and on about this guy, but super inspired. He's become family to me. I'm gonna pass this over to executive consultant Rob Smolik. I don't know where in the world he is right now. He might be on East Coast time frame.
I am East Coast. We're at our lodge in Kentucky. Dan, how are you doing? Good to
Right.
see you all on tonight. It is different. We're usually Vegas, Pacific, and this East Coast time. It is different. I kept waiting. I go, what time do we got to get on? We got to get in the last 2 hours. I kept asking Summer, like, do we got to get on now? Do we got to get on now? She goes, no, we still got an hour. So we're here now. Guys, good to see you all. I guess I get principles. What this was set up on when we first met Marcel. Oh God, like we've been doing this 9.5 years. So we met Marcel about 8 years ago, and he invited us to come and attend it was the third building dep, I think, that we attended. And he told us what to do. He said, if you guys do this, I believe you'll be free in 2 to 5 years. And I said, we'll give you 4. I came from a medical background to begin with, guys. I was in medicine for about 9, 10 years. I hated it. I walked away from medicine and became an entrepreneur. And over the last, well, man, for about in 25 years, I had 30 companies, and I have sold them all. And so just living a good life right now. Just us, my wife and my daughter, and just doing what we want when we want. And our passion is this. And so Marcel said the first thing you need to do is, Rob, is get this in front of 15 people or more a month. And I'm numbers, and I ask him, why 15? Right? He goes, well, I've been doing this for 30 some years, and I saw that if I did it 15 or more a month, there was always something happening in my business, like that was to a positive. And there's times, you guys, where me and Summer have done way over 100 to 200 presentations a month between the two of us, way over. Um, and it's kept our business flowing steady, and it's been nice. But that 15 or more, if you want to be an executive and more, it's almost embarrassing to tell people 15 or more. But you know how most of it is, guys. A lot of these people struggle just to do one, or even to do one invite or two invites in a month. And so got to start small, take how to eat an elephant one bite at a time, but work up to it. I thought 15 or more was stupid easy, but I had 11 companies when I got involved with this business. I had thousands of people on my cell phone. So, but for a new person that's pretty introverted, it could be hard. Summer had 17 contacts on her phone when we met, when she joined this. 17. She went through a divorce and deleted everybody. Maybe some of you can relate on that one. And so the 15 or more is so important, guys. If you're not doing a presentation, if your mouth ain't open, your lips ain't moving, your business ain't open, right? You've got to be talking to people. You've got to be sharing this. You've got to be getting the information in front of people, or you don't have a business. It's plain and simple. We could sit and cry and whine about this all we want, but I'm going to tell you right now, you're going to work this hard for a few years to get to that executive level. And it's not like taking 2 weeks off and 3 weeks off and, oh, I want to do one presentation this week and I'm not going to do any for 3 or 4 months. Don't anybody bullshit you. You can't do that, or you'll never get to the executive level in this company by doing that. Ever, ever, ever. Then he said, Rob, be a person of your word. I go, like, always do what you say you're going to do? He goes, well, yeah. And I thought, that's why I think I've been successful in business all these years. Even it gets me in trouble sometimes, always doing what I say I'm going to do. And he goes, well, you'll be surprised at how many people aren't. Man, was I surprised. Like, still surprised when people say, I'm going to do this or I'm going to do that, and they don't do anything. I just quit listening to what people say and I watch what they do. Right? Their words really don't mean anything anymore. I just watch what they do and by their actions. Their actions will tell me what they want and where they want to go. Stay in control of your business, right? Stay in control. Being on these calls is staying in control of your business, going down and building depth and grabbing people by the hand and doing this with them, not telling them what to do, but doing it with them and leading them and guiding them through this. It's so important that you do that. I mean, I see this industry up and down all the time with different groups, and man, I see a lot of the leadership. They're not in control of their business. They're hoping they what they do is they go in and they refresh their back office, hoping their downline's building their business for them. Right? I've seen where they'll be 1,000 to 2,000 away from going over at the end of the month from a certain rank or certain, and they sit there and they watch and they refresh and they refresh and say, just go and do it, and you put yourself over. Don't rely or depend on your downline to make you hit or help you hit that next rank, because whatever rank you are right now, that group of people will not get you to the next rank. You need more new blood. You need more new people. If they were going to get you to where that rank was, you'd be there by now. They're not going to get you there. You need new people. Fresh blood is what keeps the fire going in this. Then he said, attend all trainings and conventions like they're non-negotiable. Guys, I have never missed an event. In 9.5 years, I have never missed an event. I have never missed a call. I have never missed an event. I don't know how. I was so afraid that somebody was going to give the secret sauce or somebody was going to give the secret to build this. That's how naive I was with this industry. Is like I thought I can't miss it because maybe Sarah or maybe somebody, maybe Mark, maybe Marcel, maybe somebody will say something that I need to know. And I was terrified to miss it. Right. And then me and Summer got to be promote. Man, if you could just help people be leaders and teach people how to be leaders and get them leading and then be the best promoter in the world, this will be one of the easiest things you've ever done. And so he said, just do those 5 things consistently. And in 2 to 5 years, Rob, you guys will probably be free. That's about it, guys. But I could tell you this too. I chased money my whole life. Now, I made a lot of money, guys, with my companies and my businesses, but I was always miserable. Right? I kind of hated my life. This is the first time that I've ever done anything that I absolutely enjoyed, and it's a passion. Stop playing for the points and start playing for the love of the game. When it gets to your heart, that's what I mean by that. When it gets to your heart, you're not refreshing the back office every 30 seconds. You're not doing it. You're just playing for the love of the game, and that heart will show over time, and people will follow you. Right? They will listen to you. They will let you lead them, and pretty soon they will be leading too. So I'm going to turn this over to, I think, one of the best leaders in this company and in this industry. She's going to talk about presentation. Um, she's beyond a sister to me. She's family. Love her to death. She wore the most ugliest freaking hat last night on our presentation call. We had an ugly hat contest, and Candy was one of the winners. And with lots of hair. And I think she did it to taunt me because I don't have a lot of hair. So she had to be one of the winners. But Candy, would you please share with these guys a presentation?
I'll bring that to corporate for you next week.
Okay,
See
I know
about
you will. I seen that at your house one time. I just got a
it. I
mess
know I
up.
have a picture of you wearing
I
it. You
hate
don't
it. I'm gonna
remember?
burn it. I'm gonna burn it. I'm gonna burn that hat.
Oh my gosh. Thank you, Rob. And welcome to all of you. Thank you for being here on a Tuesday night. And especially all of you that are coming in from the East Coast. Like, thank you for being here. It is really late for you, and we really appreciate your time. This call has always been since the very beginning. I've been a part of LifeVantage for 6.5 years, and I never missed this call because there's so much value from so many incredible leaders. And I didn't want to miss it because I knew I was going to hear exactly what I needed to hear, right, on that call. So a little bit of my background is I used to be a registered nurse. I worked as a registered nurse for I've been a nurse for 25 years. I have 4 kids. I'm married to my high school sweetheart. I'm a grandma, which a lot of you know, but he is 6 months old and he is in Hawaii right now. How dare him, because I should be in Hawaii. But he is the most precious little boy ever. And, when I saw this, when I saw LifeVantage 6.5 years ago, I was living in a hamster wheel. I was exhausted. I was exhausted mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually. I didn't even want to get out of bed in the morning. You guys, I was struggling with health conditions. I was taking a lot of medication. I was working a lot of hours, and I wasn't present for my family. I would tell you that my kids were the most important people in my life, but I was the biggest hypocrite that you'd ever meet because I never got to spend any time with my kids. So when I saw this information, when I watched that ABC News primetime investigative report and I met Miss Summer Smolik, I had a huge vision. It was the first time that I felt like I had hope back in my life. And I was like, oh my gosh, if this is real, we're going to be able to impact the world. We're going to be able to change people's lives in so many different ways. I saw that vision right away, but I also saw an opportunity to create more income to get time back with my family because I had missed out on raising my kids. And this has been the best journey that I've ever been a part of. It's been hard. This isn't always easy, you guys, but this is simple. It is simple. And the person that you get to become through this process is so beautiful because this is a personal growth and development company. And the more people that you're willing to go help, the more you can grow as a person. This gave me my life back. It gave me my health back. I feel better now as a grandma than I felt when I was in my 20s. I got time back with my kids. I walked away from my job as a registered nurse, and I am so passionate and fired up about this company and about where we're going. You guys are in the right place at the right time with the right people. You guys, this is such a simple system, and Rob just went over the system. I'm going to go over the presentation for you. The presentation, you guys, when you first start, if you're brand new on this call, all you have to do is get good at the invite because the person that enrolled you or you're actively building upline is going to walk you through and help you through that presentation. Don't feel like you're going to be thrown into that. We're going to walk you through the process. We're going to hold your hand. You're going to learn along the way. There's 3 components to the presentation. You're going to learn how to tell your story. So, what did you see? Why did you say yes to LifeVantage? Where was your life at before LifeVantage? Why did you say yes? And where do you want to go? Where are you at since you said yes to LifeVantage? What has this done for you? So I just told you guys my story, right? Your story will evolve over time. Also, the next part of it is the middle part of the presentation is the company story. So in the company story, you're going to talk about the ABC prime time. You're going to talk about the timing. You're going to talk about the industry. You're going to talk about that we're publicly traded on the NASDAQ. You're going to talk about all of these things, all of the studies that have been done on Protandim NRF2. You guys, but keep it simple. Keep it very simple and just spend a couple of minutes on each part of that presentation. And then you're going to talk about the compensation plan. You're going to tell people how to get involved. And when you share your story, the company story, and how to get paid, you're going to keep all of those things very, very simple. When you get good at doing a presentation, you're looking for when the person in front of you is lighting up. When are they responding to you? Are they lighting up when you're talking about time with their family? When you're talking about another stream of income? Are they lighting up when you're talking about helping people feel better on all aspects of their life? What is their pain? Look for their pain and paint that vision, paint that picture of how you can help them solve the problem that they have. You guys, because this company has a solution to every problem that every person has. And this is the most amazing community on the planet. When you get to the compensation part of how to get paid in the presentation, you guys don't have to be afraid of that. Keep it simple. You can just keep it basic and say we get paid on customers, on getting customers and getting people on these products. We get paid on building a team. We get paid on helping develop leadership and helping empower people and believing in people. And then we get paid on all of the work that's been done over the last 17 years once you hit those executive ranks of the company. Like, isn't that simple and duplicatable? You guys want to keep this as simple as possible. Don't overthink it. So I get the honor of passing this over to an incredible mentor of mine. Him and his wife live in Monument, Colorado, and they have inspired me. I have watched them for the last 6.5 years, just thinking, oh my gosh, they've been involved in this industry for years and years and years. You guys find the people that have what you want and duplicate what they did to get it. Just copy what they're doing. And so I get to introduce Mr. Dave Madison.
Miss Candy, thank you. That was fabulous. I love the simplicity of how you explain that. And I keep it the same way with present in my presentation, but typically I ask a lot of questions when I'm talking about competition. I'm gonna align myself with a couple of points. But most importantly, I like to get their insight on what a perspective of their interest might be. So as we're finding out exactly what they're all about and what they're actually aspiring to do, it's often going to come down to a simple question and answer that they're going to lead me in the direction they need to go. Because you can take the whole entire evening and afternoon and month to talk to them about all the things that you know about what's going on, but ultimately it's what they need to hear is what they tell you they need to hear. And so for us, I come from an engineering background. I spent a career in energy engineering, so a 25-year career in the manufacturer's rep in the engineering side of the HVAC world. And I just realized as doing that process, that as I'm communicating with engineers no different than perspectives in our business, I'm looking to find out how I can best serve them to get their result. Their best result allows me to get continued business. Now, in this model of compensation, I'm not interested in how well of a salesman they are. I'm not interested in what they want to aspire to sell as far as a product or try that product. I'm more interested in finding out what kind of dollar signs is going to change their everyday life. So to me, unlike when we launched this thing 17 and a half years ago, we didn't have a testimonial on the product nor the compensation. And we were just hoping this would affiliate to a factor of success. But yet at the same token, we realized as we developed the compensation plan, we're going to have a full basket full of different proposals of people that are coming into this with interests of their own. And so I simply talk to people about the areas of capturing people as they purchase the product. You're going to actually have the opportunity to give them a wholesale by subscribing to a product, and off that retail line, they're going to get anywhere from 5 to 30% on all of the sales that they're doing in their personal customer alignment. Beyond that, I'm going to move them in as a consultant if they want to tell somebody. And if they want to tell somebody, you're going to get 10% on the first level and 10% of all of those people's, if they decide to be consultants also, that they're going to get 10% on all their customers they bring to the table. And it's going to filter down through 9 different levels. So it's not just going to be relying on you. It's going to be relying on everyone's effort. And that's the trigger for them to realize and for their eyes to open up and for you to recognize that, oh my gosh, I've never witnessed or experienced this kind of endeavor where I can get paid on something long term when I did the work today. And that's a time and step where you're starting to realize where they stand in their opportunity and where you got to bring them into the educational world. So for ultimate circumstances, depending on the kind of ears that are hearing, if they're experienced in the industry, I like to move right to the matching bonus where you're matching the people that you brought in and also some of their people that they brought in at 7 different positions in depth. And at the same token, I'm looking at people that are complete rookies to this equation, and I'm talking to them about just capturing a couple of customers. And if they capture a couple and it turns into a $2,000, $4,000, $8,000 venture line, you're talking thousands of dollars worth of long-term revenue that's coming for each and every one of them. And this is the litmus test of how serious they can be. I pulled out the greatest document we have, which is an income disclosure sheet. And that income disclosure sheet is the litmus test for you to understand what they need and what they want. It's the FCC. It's the Federal Trade Commission. It's the documents that we have in rock solid information with not one penny missed that illustrates the honesty and integrity for what this business means for them long term, which should evaporate any of that skepticism. So ultimately, they're going to point to, on that scale of an average income, what is most important to them and what's going to change their life in the next 2, 3, 6, 8, 12 months. And when they say they need an extra $500 or $5,000, whatever it may be, you find it, point to it, and look over to the starboard side of it, and you're going to witness how many months the average person, not the superstars, the average person is going to take to actually accomplish their goal. And if it says 6 months, 8 months, 12 months, 20 months, I don't care. You respond to them with the question, I don't know if an extra $500 a month means something to you, but if you talk about $1,000, that's $12,000 a year. Do you have an opportunity at your job to get a bonus come Christmas time of 12 grand? The answer is inevitably no. And so you just lock them in by their own response and their own interests on how they can actually drive forward with this. And now you're moving right into the mentorship side where you're actually accelerating their confidence on them participating at the minimum so you can maximize their potential. So with that, I'm going to flip this to the other side. I don't know where Miss Sarah Smith is at this moment. She's all over the world anyways. But ultimately, this couple, Chris and Sarah, are special people that have learned this system and mastered the teaching of it and have become absolute professionals, not only in LifeVantage, but most certainly in the industry. So to the best of the best, Miss Sarah, take them on into staying in control of their businesses.
Oh, thank you, Dave. Oh my gosh, you guys, I'm just like tuned in like never before. And maybe because it's 10 p.m. on the East Coast, but I'm coming in from Bar Harbor, Maine tonight. We are in Maine for family, for a little bit of team, and super excited about it. Staying in control of your business in the beginning. Chris and I have been with LifeVantage for 14 years. We were both in the trades. Trading time for money was not working. We had a health crisis hit us. My background being in the massage world and really, running the last 24 years of my, kind of S quadrant, I would say, being the specialist. When my hands were not on massage clients, our paycheck stopped. And when we had a health crisis really hit us, we had to figure out another way, and this was a gift. I mean, for the pure health, but then also for really just another avenue to create an income stream. And right now, we are all in 100%. Where the company is right now, where we are right now, couldn't be a better time. So if you're on this call, you are staying in control of your business. Rob said it very well. In the beginning, me staying in control of my massage practice meant, my marketing was grassroots. It was about getting more bodies on my table. It was very linear, right? Staying in control of our network marketing business. It's not about managing people, right? It's about managing ourselves, managing our own actions. Very simply put, if you're a consultant on this call, do you have a subscription that's running every single month? That is like foundational. If you do not have a subscription that's running every single month, you're not in control of your business, because your personal order, really allows you to, put, those points towards your personal rank advancements and things like that. So on a personal front, showing up to the events, showing up to the calls, plugging in, being the example, it holds so much weight in staying in control. Because if you're not showing up, your team's not showing up. You guys, we're growing a volunteer army. So no one's getting a paycheck from me. I'm just simply trying to help other people get a paycheck. So you have to be the example. You have to be the light. You have to work on yourself. Take control of your own, kind of direction and who you're becoming in the world. Like that's a big piece to this business. When, are you doing your 15 presentations a month? That's staying in control of your business. And what I find, if you're on this call, you're beginning, if not totally, understand that building relationships in depth creates a stable, long-term, generational wealth-making machine. So it's really important for all of us to have the relationships and find the people in your organization who want what you're doing right now, who are doing what you're doing right now, not who say they're doing what you're doing or are projecting when they're going to be doing what you're doing, but you're honestly just looking for the people who are doing what you're doing right now. Okay. So that's really huge. And those relationships are key. And when when you are locking arms with that brand new consultant, staying in control of your business is not duplicating, sending the link, like sending links out, sending emails out, those strategies for getting people started do not work. Like, email is for snail mail. It could be for some follow-up emails after a presentation, but certainly not to really have anybody get started fast. Okay. So staying in control is helping them with their follow-ups, helping that brand new person with their invites, really transferring your skills, because if you're on here, you're a leader and you're in the inviting phase always until you're presidential. So, and it's not about saying, hey, we're going to have a meeting and it's 25 minutes away. I'd love for you to be there. Go to their home, like meet them on their turf. Like that's staying in control of your business. Full on, like if you show up to their house and they set the meeting, they're going to be there because it's their home. You're not waiting for them to show up to a meeting where they haven't even made it a priority yet. So I think staying in control like goes into, really not sending the links, holding the information. You guys, you can't cut someone's hair over the phone. It's 90% visual. Like these are the things that you can't just like allow people to, send them a link and send them on their way. You will end up chasing them. And chasing does not feel good, you guys. It takes that brand new person out of the game when you're chasing people. So, and you don't want to be a chaser. You simply want to like very much like commit to a time block to make sure that they see the information and they decide, if it's right for them. But if we're chasing people around, you're going to blow through brand new consultants because it does not feel good. Because the one of the biggest things that people, worry about is they don't want to be a salesperson. And that's what it makes you feel like. So, there's a lot. So staying in control, you're not managing people, you're managing yourself, and then transferring those skills and helping people with the follow-ups, with the invites, getting to their house, being that posture of, look, this train's leaving with or without you, with or without me, and certainly with or without you, let's go, right? So staying in control is huge. And like, there's so many facets to this. But I have the honor of, I'm going to pass this along. I could literally talk a half an hour on staying in control, but I will not do that to you. We have some time to keep here. So with that, I'm going to pass this over to, he is a dear business partner now, and he and his wife, Krista, were, honestly people that when we went to LifeVantage Academies, they changed our perspective. They changed us in a 4-hour intensive with them. And we're forever grateful. So I'm going to turn this over to Mr. Mark Harris coming in from Kansas City. Take it away.
We can't hear you, buddy.
1, 2, 3. How's that?
Gotcha.
I had a set of headphones plugged in. Sorry about that. Thank you, Sarah. Yes, I'm actually in Nashville tonight. Who knows where I will be tomorrow? I was in St. Pete Beach 3 days ago and be in Salt Lake next Saturday. It's a busy time. Great segue for a couple things. One, Boy, each one of these topics, to your point, we could go for a long, long time. We get 40 minutes to go on deeper dives a week from next Saturday in St. George, Utah, or next Friday. There will be people that are not yet registered for that event that actually are in that room. And I want to recommend, if you haven't registered for St. George, what are you waiting for? If I were you, I'm not you, but I'm going. Do register for that event. They are transformational. And as Sarah said, if you're not actively trying to qualify for a LifeVantage Academy with another group of people in your region, boy, I tell you, you're missing out. That was the X factor for us. We crossed team lines. We linked arms with all the leaders we could find in the Midwest, and we got Kansas City qualified for premier schools, which later became LifeVantage Academies. And I know Kansas City is working really hard to requalify, and that made all the difference for us because you can't do this alone, and you can only hear some things from other people. You can only hear transformational truth sometimes from people that you don't get to hear from very often. So thank you, Sarah, for that affirmation. It was absolutely some of the best times that we've had in the company, the times that we've been in different regional markets for LifeVantage Academies. And I'm so stoked that those are happening again. I get the privilege of sharing on the art of promotion. And most of the time we don't call it an art, but it is. It's absolutely an essential part of our system. Perhaps if you've been around for any amount of time, you've heard us talk about promotion. The Lord must know I need this because I end up talking about promotion a lot. So I've just been making notes this afternoon and this evening on some of the things that are really important to help us expand our concept of promotion. And obviously, we promote events, we promote trainings, we promote calls. We promote invitations and follow-ups and resolving concerns and all the stuff that we talk about on these calls. But there's a much broader approach to setting a trajectory of affirmation in your business and in your leadership, in your personal life as well. There are things that I would just rhetorically, I would ask, what's important to you? What did you see? Or what do you continue to see in a growing capacity with LifeVantage? Is it our culture? Is it our products? Is it our income potential? Certainly. Is it this opportunity? Absolutely. Is it this tribe? You bet your bottom dollar. A lot of people will just stick around. They may not have the rank, they might not have the income, but you put them in a part of this family and they're in for life. I know I am. There's a mindset as well that you have to adopt to become a leader in LifeVantage. Maybe not other network marketing companies so much, but it's the promotion of others, and that only comes through a perspective of gratitude, of realizing that this, while it is about us, it's not really about us, and we have success when we focus on the success of others. That's the way network marketing works. That's the way building depth works. And that is a practice, is a mindset we can cultivate through gratitude and just recognizing things that are true, things that are just, things that are beautiful, things that are abundant, things that are kind and generous and lovely. To borrow some phrases from the Apostle Paul. I think one of the things that we've sort of lost as well is an appreciation for network marketing as a vehicle, as a platform. And that's, perhaps for good reason. There's a stigma behind MLM because not everybody does it the right way. Not all companies are good companies. Not all compensation plan are good compensation plan. Not all products are really good products. We have all those things. And so I don't know what you did to deserve to be here. We just prayed. This was an answer to prayer for us. But because we have what we have, it affords us the ability to get beyond just the tactile, the mercenary, the consumer stuff. Yeah, sure, we want to pay our bills. Sure, we want to create legacy income. But boy, we have the power to create transformation in the lives of everybody that we talk to. No, not everybody wants transformation. But you have the power. You have the power of life and death in your tongue. Just you got, as Rob said, though, if you're not moving your mouth, your business is closed, and nobody gets transformed, including you, right? So, gosh, I have a whole sheet of things that we promote. I won't go through that. I'm already over 5 minutes. I will say this. Rob said something a few weeks back that really profoundly hit me. And it was a really crystalline way of looking at how to present what we're offering people. And it was a sort of a triad or a pyramid. Messing with you. And those three things were leveraged income. And I would put time and income in that leverage category, maybe at the top of the pyramid. The impact factor, your ability to transform other people's lives, and of course, yours and your family's lives, and an abundant lifestyle where you get to participate with the people that you love the most. A lifestyle that is beautiful and lovely and full of hard work, and there's loads of virtue and reward in that hard work. I say that because sometimes we complicate our invitation so much, when really the most important things I would say are summarized in that pyramid. So I'm over. I should shut up. Thank you guys, especially you East Coasters, for getting on. Well done, you stalwart Trojans. It's my privilege to introduce my buddy from Boston, the land of the tall ships, in the next couple months here. Yeah, Dan Mollering, executive consultant, who's become a very good friend and a pretty good soccer player, I hear, of late. Danny.
Thanks, Mark, I appreciate it. Got a lot going on up here in Boston over the next couple of months. I'll tell you, tall ships, World Cup, 250 reenactments, all kinds of stuff going on. What a great call this has been so far, and I want to thank all of you leaders for taking the time to pour in. I get to cover overcoming objections, and the way I would like to weave overcoming objections tonight. We're going to go over a couple of examples, but I want to weave in follow up with overcoming objections because they're kind of hand in hand. But I have to do a callback because, Sarah, I haven't heard the line, "I can't cut your hair over the phone," in years. And I immediately went back to like three-way call training. We'll talk later about that, but oh man, the memories that came flooding back from that one. What a great callback. I used to say, "Hey, I can't fix your leaky roof over the phone." That is so great. Thank you for that. But that's a great way to overcome an obstacle or an objection right there. You know, what is it? Listen, you can't cut your hair over the phone. You're going to be met with a lot of obstacles and objections in this business and in life. That's just part of the game. I'm telling you that right now, that the root cause to 99% of all objections are your steadfast belief in it. It's really a test of your own belief. Or the objections. Now, sometimes you will run up against people that are just not. They're not asking these objectifying questions. They're only doing it to trip you up. You know what I mean? Some people are asking these things because they really want to know. Some people, very, very few and far between, are never going to hear it, and they're just trying to aggravate you. But the root cause to 99% of the objections that you're going to be up against are your belief that it's working, belief that it's real, belief that the products are working, belief that it's working for you, the business is working, like all of those things, right? It's really that kind of test. So when overcoming objections and obstacles, you'll hear the feel, felt, found approach often. And I like it because it does really relate to where people are. So if somebody says like, "Well, I'm not a salesperson," or "I don't have time," or, you know, it's finite, the amount of things that you will hear, right? The amount of reasons for not doing this. "I don't know anybody. I don't have any money. Is this one of those things?" Like, it's finite, the amount of things. Like, I could see how you would feel that way because I felt the exact same way. In fact, the first time that I saw this information, the only thing I wanted to do was save my friend from quitting his job at Pfizer Pharmaceuticals to embark on this because I thought it was just nonsense. But what I found was that because it had that third party validation and science just started pouring out, and I saw what it did for myself, I knew that I was all in. Right. So real easy. It's just relating with people and overcoming and helping them to understand that it's like, hey, I see you, I hear you, you're seen, you're heard. I feel that, right? Because I was there too. Here's what I found out. Let me show you how I found that information so you can self-discover that for yourself. Right now, when are you going to be bringing these things up? Honestly, this is going to be happening during your follow-ups. You're going to hear these objections and these obstacles constantly during your follow-ups. This is the reason that it takes multiple times to follow up and never stop following up, because you never know when somebody's going to be ready or when their lives change. Now, there are statistics that are out there that say that 80% of all decisions are made after, between the 5th and 12th follow-up, right? But the reality is statistics state that only about 2% of people, 5% of people ever really do that 5th through 12th follow-up. What's even more staggering is only 45% of people will follow up one time, and only like 2 to 10% of people will make a decision on how this fits into their life on that first follow-up, and only 45% of people will do it that first time. We already know that it takes people, 5, 6 touches to backfill with their own logic on why they should do this. They just need you to help them overcome those obstacles. So by following up with them repeatedly and making sure that they are seen, felt, heard, all of that stuff, and that they feel safe, now they know that they can make 100% decision on the information that they've received, rather than making 100% of the decision off 5% of the information that they received on a one-touch interaction and maybe not ever have a follow-up after that, right? They have questions. They may be perceived to you as objections or obstacles. It's up to us to figure out how to navigate and use the matter in between the 6 inches of our ears to become a good investigator, so that we can help guide those individuals to understand that those objections and obstacles are not obstacles at all. They're actually shortcuts and pathways and pressure relief. Because I think people's biggest fear is when they find out that this is network marketing, they get all like, oh geez, this is one of those things. I don't know if it's going to work. I don't know if I can do this. I don't know if I'll be able to stick it out. I'm not good enough. This is what they're backfilling with their own mind. So it's going to translate into us as obstacles. Is this one of those things? And I don't know anybody, and I'm not a salesperson, right? And if we can just relate with them and understand that we see how that feels, we've been there. I get it. Here's what I found out after 17 years. It's still the most important thing that I've ever done. And I'll attach everything that I've got to it because of what I've seen it do for other people. We cannot harbor and squander what it is that we have. If people have objections, it's only a test of your belief. And if you know what it's done for you, you really need to help share that with them and not win them to your way of thinking, but have your belief radiate so much that it's so contagious that people would be walking away from that being like, if I don't get that product in me, or if I don't get this business going right now, I will forever regret this. Candy is aging in reverse. You know what I mean? What am I doing? And trust me, it takes time. It takes time sometimes for some people to see it. I've been following up for people for 17 years, and every now and again they'll come around and, yeah, all right, I'm ready. Do they do anything? No, not always. Sometimes they do. But the point is, you never stop following up. You never stop going over your obstacles, and you never stop just getting better. Keep sharpening the saw. Just keep hearing all the objections that you possibly can, and hear how other leaders overcome those obstacles and objections. How did you overcome all the obstacles and objections to get to where you're at? I see how you feel. I felt the same way. Here's what I found. Let's overcome this obstacle together. So I hope that's helpful. I'm going to pass this over to another great individual. I get to introduce both of them tonight. So I get to pass this over to Rob's counterpart, his better half, the smarter one. Just kidding, Rob. Love you so much, buddy. Summer is definitely one that I was a little bit more intimidated of, especially at live events, because you don't know where she's going to jump, what corner she's going to jump out of, and what shoulder she's going to get you on. It's jump scare city with this woman, but I'm telling you, her dedication and that kind of attitude is what's helped get them to the multiple executive positions that they have. So, no further ado, I'm going to pass this over to my sister from another mister, Summer Smolik out of Kentucky.
It can get dangerous. And
That's scary.
Dan, at least you're still alive. You've made it. You did it. Congratulations.
I know, it's in my memoirs.
Oh my gosh, I love it. You guys, I'm going to talk to you about the invite. And I'm not the one that had, as Rob already shared, I didn't have a big names list. Go through a divorce, a couple of years later, be a recluse and not want to talk to anybody, and then meet the greatest man in the world, and he shares some information with you and to be a part of a network marketing company when you have 17 people in your phone. I mean, that's crazy. That's the silly talk, how that would even work, because I always thought that I needed to have contacts, and come to find out you don't need anybody. They need you. They need you. And he shared it. Rob shared this ABC primetime report with me that blew me away, you guys. I threw my credit card at him. I said, I'm in. I don't know what I'm in, and I have no idea what I'm doing, but I'm in. Because at that point, I was a burnout medical device rep on my hands and knees, hoping, wishing, wanting, praying that something would come into my life, working 80, 90 hours a week, divorced, lost all my friends, had no children in my mid to late 30s, and my body was failing. Like, I was over it. I watched the primetime report. I did a little bit of research that lasted 30 seconds just to see that it was there. I mean, we're 3% of people enroll the very first time you share this with them. Well, I threw my credit card. He hadn't even shared the whole compensation plan. He said, but this is our way out. Let's make money while we're sleeping. I was like, and hallelujah. That's that's what he told me. So I had a belief. I had belief and confidence, not in what I was doing. I had no clue as to what I was doing, but I had confidence in who I was. Belief, when you have increased belief, is going to help increase your actions. When you have increased actions, your results will start to come. And what I found over this is that you guys, people are, especially right now, holy cow, are you kidding me? People right now, financial disease is the number one stressor in the United States right now. It's a global epidemic, pandemic, whatever you want to call it right now, that people need to have this information in front of them. All aspects of their life is starting to go fail. Today I scrolled social media for my first time in months. I am not a scroller. I can't stand it. It's so negative and yucky and bleh. It's just not my jam. But I scroll through it, and there's all these people that are suffering so much, but we've got to say less to more people. And if you are not inviting, your business is not going to grow. And if your business isn't going to grow, then you're just hanging out in this, like, I don't know, between your old life and your new life. You're hanging out in this land of no man's land, and nothing's going to change unless you change. So over time, there's a acronym FORM: family, occupation, recreation, and money. Somebody's looking for something in one of those categories. I just figured out what it was. I learned how to talk to people that I didn't know, and I practiced a lot, and I really sucked at it. Ask Rob. I would come home. He'd go, "How was your day?" Well, I invited 4 people. Well, how'd it go? Well, it sucked. But here's what I learned. And what I learned is I don't make this about me. Even to this day, you guys, I was on a call with a gal I shared this with 9 years ago. I really lost touch with her a little bit, and I talked to her for 45 minutes, and I hardly said a word because she felt like she needed to say something, tell me these things that she'd been going through in her life. Guess what? Then she says, "Are you still involved in what you were doing?" Yes. But I didn't share it with her right then. I said, "You wouldn't even believe what," and I said, "I am not the same person I was 9 years ago. So I'm just telling you right now, I'm not the same person. And can we revisit this? Because I know it could completely change your world." And I'm sharing this with her first thing tomorrow morning. It wasn't the right time at the reconnection. Can we revisit? I I didn't even say anything. When you aren't saying anything, you open up your mouth, you ask questions about them. I don't talk about me because this isn't about me. So if I just ask questions about them, genuine questions to figure out what they're looking for. Do they love what they do? If they say yes, which is rare, 85% of people hate their jobs, and that's such a strong word. I said, if they love it, why? What do you love? Everything's positive. It's all about perspective. Keep it positive. Then they'll tell us, oh, the person, but then they're going to say, but, well, your next 5 years are going to look just like your previous 5 years unless you do something different. But I get to know that, like, are you married? Do you have kids? If time and money wasn't a thing, what would you do with your life? If they tell me they don't love what they do, well, what do you want to do? What do you want to do? If time and money wasn't a thing, what would you do? You wouldn't even believe the answers that I get. Guess what? Majority of people have nothing to say to me. That is sad. That is not a great place to be in your life. Well, if I had something that could help you get what you're looking for, would you give me 30 minutes? Yeah. All right. Exchange phone numbers. We set up a time. Stay in control of my business. I call them. They don't call me. I get their number. I don't give them mine until I text them. Do I tell them the name of my company? No. The name of my company is not LifeVantage anyway. It's World Domination. Robin Summer Smolik. It's not the name of my company. Okay? This is just my vehicle to be able to provide a solution to their problems. We're real people with real solutions to real problems. So why don't we just share? When I had to practice and I sucked at this really bad, but you guys, I would be selfish if I didn't open up my mouth. I would be absolutely selfish, and I don't want to be selfish. I want to be giving. I want to be servant. I want to be able to help as many people as we possibly can to live out their true purpose and be inspired and excited when they wake up and say, whoa, who do I get to bless today? Rob almost got nailed on that one. Did you see that? Like, who do we get to bless today? This is a gift. You are a gift. Start using it. Start using it because it's the most important thing we've ever done in our entire life. And if we lock arms together, we can change the trajectory of this screwed up world one family at a time. Woo! I'm going to pass this over to Mr. Chris Smith, who him and Sarah have inspired me since the very first day that I met him with how humble, servant, amazing, incredible couple people that have come into our life. And I'm so blessed. So, Mr. Chris Smith, would you please pour into all these amazing people as well?
Oh, thank you, Summer. Yeah, I'm coming in from Utah, and you'll get to hear from my wife earlier. And when this came across our desk, I was working in construction. Felt fortunate to provide for my family in that way. Didn't see a future spending a lot of time with my family because I was kind of embroiled in a lot of the things that the construction industry entails, which is if you want to make money on the back end of it, you got to hustle. I'm going to talk about that in a minute, what that really means when I get to my subject tonight, which is always doing what you say you're going to do. But my wife had mentioned, had this medical episode, or I did. And although that we had good medical insurance and savings and retirement, even all that wasn't enough to insulate from basically a kind of a bankruptcy. And it wasn't that long of an episode, like people go through much worse and longer sustained treatments and hospital stays and that kind of stuff. So I know a lot of families out there that have done all the right things, are just like this close to getting wrecked, and a lot have been. And we've got a solution to find them. That's a big part of my story, not just looking for a vehicle to spend time with my family, but to make sure we had some kind of, insulation from the next disaster, not knowing what that could be. Sometime later, some years after that, it turned out to be the whole COVID thing shut down both of our industries that we're working in without notice. uh, yeah, I mean, thank you to all the people that shared LifeVantage with us. And that some folks in that chain, including us, said yes, our lives would have looked a lot different in that second massive disruption, financial disruption that could have actually entered our family's home, but it didn't because we built a moat with this thing. So I share with you because if you know people like that, that's the question we need to be getting out there and asking. Who do you know that wants to do something like this right now? And with that, I'm going to move on to my topic tonight, which is always doing what we say we're going to do. It's an integrity principle. We only teach 5 principles. Very important to building a large business. I'll take it back to construction, what I was talking about. You commit to say, I'm going to build you this. It's going to land on this date on the calendar, and it's going to cost this much money. Those are pulling through on those kind of promises occupied all my time, so I couldn't spend time with my family. That's important in any business. There's certain promises you've got to pull through on. In network marketing, it's really being consistent and doing the right things over a long period of time. There's no way to demonstrate it in a short period of time. Mainly with setting your own agenda aside to focus on the goals of the person in front of you, maybe someone on your team or a new prospect. Why are they sitting down to take a look at this? So with that, Dan, can I get a spotlight? Potentially. I think you have that ability. I might be able to spotlight myself. I just did it. Or you
Wait, I
might
did it.
Oh, okay.
You're pinned and spotlighted.
Thank you so much for spotlighting me. Yeah, doing the right thing. What does that mean? Well, I found this really helpful in a very simple way to break it down. Little 2x2 matrix. Can we see that? I gotta like kill my background, I think. It's not gonna show up. Bear with me. Video stuff, virtual backgrounds. There we go. Just nothing. There we go. Perfect. So with that, this little 2x2 matrix here. So if you think about what direction you're moving in, if you're going this way on this axis, you're doing deals, you're doing stuff that benefits yourself. And if you're going this way, you're doing stuff that might do harm to yourself. And on this axis here, if you're moving up this way, up towards the top, you're doing deals, closing deals that benefit other people. And if you're going down this way, you're doing stuff that harms other people. So we got to, just in thinking about, where we want to be, this to me is something pretty simple. You don't want to be over here doing harm to yourself and to others. This is someone who might be doing like 80 miles an hour, down the highway and texting or something and not paying attention. They cause a car wreck. They do damage to themselves and other people. This is a very real thing, and people operate in this mindset. This is around emotional intelligence. And then doing harm to yourself and benefiting others. You don't want to be here all the time. You do want to help people, okay? Don't get me wrong, but I think we all know folks who just help and help and help, and I'm going to go over here and help this person for free with my time, mostly giving away your time, which has a value to it, right? Eventually, if the net gain to yourself when you do these deals is zero because these people who benefited don't come and have this circle back around, that is a place you do not want to be, even though you're creating deals that benefit other people. Now down here, this is pretty easy. Harming others and benefiting yourself, these are all your arch criminals. There's a lot of ways to rob people. Folks do it with the threat of violence or Ponzi schemes and deceit. You don't want to do that. But up here, if you're moving up here, you're creating win-win deals. Deals where there's outcomes where you win and other people win. And that makes it, to me, pretty clear to make a decision about, hey, man, if I'm going to go left or go right here, what do I do? think about it in these terms. Pretty easy to come to a conclusion on a lot of stuff. It's not all just about doing what we say you're going to do. I think that's a nice, neat title for that topic, but it obviously is much broader than that. And with that, I'm going to hand this over to someone who has demonstrated doing the right thing over time, who has created win-win stuff. Our host, Dan. I also see Dr. Nettles and Marcy on here, folks that are in our upline who've created all kinds of win-win deals over more than a decade since I know them. These are people who didn't promise to be here forever for us, just basically made the commitment that we will help, period. You build your business. And as long as we've been here to do our part, they've been here for us. So thank you, Dan. Thank you, Nettles. Thank you, all the other executives on this call, because you've done that for us over the years too. You guys have demonstrated tremendous character and integrity. So with that, Dan, over to you. This goes all the way back to that first time we met in the airport in Portland, going to San Antonio. We were clueless. We didn't even know what we were walking into back then.
I know. Oh, dude, that was so awesome. I love these calls, and I love the progression of growth of each and every one of the leaders that spoke tonight. And Chris, your art game is still on point, man. Like, you just keep coming out with fresh stuff. I love it. So good. I absolutely am so appreciative of each and every one of you leaders for taking the time to pour in, especially since it seems like a lot of people are on the East Coast tonight that are on this call. Way to go, East Coasters. Soldiers, man, for real. Revolutionary. In any event, I want to thank everybody that hopped on to take time to pour into your business. Dr. Dundee and Marcy Nettles, thank you for hopping on as well. Again, creating the path for a lot of us. They were here right at the beginning with Dave and Marcel and Blue and all of those guys. So thank you for helping create a path. But again, guys, I hope you guys go out and enjoy the rest of your week. I hope that you gained knowledge tonight. I hope there was something of value that you were able to put into action into your business. And I hope that you took a lot of notes, but in the words of my mentor, Blue Elam, you can review those notes. It's great to take notes, but there is a time to, once you're done reviewing the notes, close the book, put the book down, and go put it into action. Okay. That is your best experience, right? Is just putting it into action. And that's the name of the game here. Experience is what you get when you don't get what you want. So go out there and put it into action. Make the rest of your life the best of your life. If you haven't registered for Building Depth in St. George next week, like Mark said, I'm not you, but if I were you, I would probably get that done. Also, look on Big Blue Calendar. Look for your closest LifeVantage Academy. If you don't have one, create a Super Saturday. Get it up on Big Blue Calendar. Start creating that momentum in your area, and let's get this company back to when we had about 35, 40 LVAs across the country, so that literally thousands of people are getting touched every single month with the proper skills and tools to be able to take their business to new heights. Again, I appreciate you all. Thank you for taking the time. I hope you have a great night. Enjoy the rest of your week, and we'll see you soon.